$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, break 7 seals. Okay, brothers and sisters, today I'm going to go over the apocalypse in detail, step by step. And later time I'll go into more detail, but I'm going to the general, well, it's detail, but general details, put it that way. But anyone that wants to do his job, brothers and sisters, come forward. If you can handle it, I'll give it to you, because I tell you, ooh, I never asked to do this. Many things a joke. I'm not asking for any money. I don't want anything from anybody. And I have my IT business. Stop doing that to do this. And I work hard at doing this. I did my IT business and I worked hard for doing that. I made a lot of money. And I still get offers right now to go do that. But this is important. It's a lifeline to our people. Can be played with. And no, this is not what I wanted to do. If I knew what I was getting into, I probably would have ran like hell before I got. Took responsibility. But once I realized what I had, I didn't think I had a choice. So this, you read about the people they call Jesus in the Bible, and if you read about Jonah, even Jonah didn't want to do this. And according to the so-called Bible, Jesus prayed. Right? He said he prayed. I think if I get it right, he said he prayed tears of blood. He didn't want to have to do that, but he said, "Not my will, but thy will be done." And you hear Jonah, he said he wanted to kill himself. He wanted to die. Ready for death. And Job, man, woof. No, let me move on, brothers and sisters. I'm going to go more quickly, because I said it took me a long time to set this up. It takes hours, and then all the technical difficulties and everything else. Right? So I finally got it. I think I got it. It should have been done 2 hours ago. And I had the thing set up about a couple hours ago, presentation, and then something happened. And the system went down where before I could save what I had done, I had to do it all over again. Boy, I was fit to be tired, brothers and sisters. Anyway, those things happen. Move on, brothers and sisters. Like it's a detailed apocalypse, step by step. I think I got all the steps correct. But what you expect to happen within the next 12 months. Next 12 months, brothers and sisters. So let's proceed and see where we go. What's a couple of things I want to play before that? Let's see what happens. But before I proceed, brothers, is this here? Why does nobody step up for this? They're all over the internet now trying to make Farrakhan relevant. The man can't wipe his own ass. He's pathetic. You ever heard from him? I told you a year and a half. I think it was this time last year it was. I put a post, I said he was messed up. You weren't going to hear from him anymore. I said diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Right? Next thing you know, he says, God told me to shut up and you heard me no more since then. They tried to say I was a lion. How come you ever heard anything from him anymore since then? Go check out. I put the post out, I think it was last year's time, maybe a little earlier. Post still out there. It's the breaking news. And you haven't heard from him since then. Not anything. He said, well, God told him to be quiet. Well, did he tell him not to show himself? Not to. Right? How come his people still speaking for him? They got Mullah in there trying to be relevant. Showing pictures of years ago. Last Sunday he said, well, he had a 70th wedding anniversary or whatever, marriage anniversary. And they show old pictures. Well, if he's okay, like they claim he is, why can they show a current picture? I mean, you just could, I mean, just prop him up. Do a headshot. Because he's pathetic. Can't wipe his own ass. They got to put him in a wheelchair. But he's the Messiah. These people are incredible. He's the Messiah. He's going to do all these things. He's going to save us. Because the Messiah is the one who's going to save us, right, and get us out of this mess. He can't even get himself out of his own mess, personal mess. You see how sick that is over there? They're desperate. Anyway, move on, brothers and sisters. They're desperate. They won't be around much longer. You'll see. Watch what happens next. You'll be surprised. Shock of the hour. Let's move on. Okay, he claims he's a Messiah, brothers and sisters. He can't. Well, if he's a Messiah, how can he deliver us in this situation? You can't deliver yourself right now. I mean, you know, he got cursed with cancer at 55. Damn. He said everything is God's will, so God wills him to have cancer. Why would he do that? Why would he curse him like that? Curse reserved for people that God hates, like it says in Malachi. It says there was someone after Elijah that got cursed because they was robbing the entire nation. This it's a nation. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Messiah. Okay, brothers, so these are all the steps. I missed some stuff here, but anyway, let's move on. These are all the steps. Quite a few steps. It says all the stuff happened suddenly. Suddenly, so I'm gonna give you some details of all the steps that you can expect to happen in the next 12 months. Okay, let's start off. I hope I got this right this time. And well, then you know, September 26th, I should have put the year. Let me do that. Let me do that. When anybody, because they say, oh, well, no, we're not going to watch the weather here. Mm-mm. Okay, brothers and sisters. So all right now. This is next. Right now, Iran, false Israel, pause. The pause between the fighting right now. The pause is going to stop. And it's not a ceasefire. Check it out. It's not a ceasefire. Ceasefire is agreement. Pause is like in between rounds. That means the fight is still going on. You're just taking a break in between rounds. It's as officially as a pause. The war will resume. And it will resume very soon. Iran, false Israel. Now it's the battle between Iran and false Israel. They're false, not real. Like I said, the synagogue of Satan. Those who say the Jews are not the synagogue of Satan. That's what Jesus say. So was he lying? Okay. And then Gog and Magog and the Jinn joins the war. Who's Gog and Magog? It's American Britain. That's who's over there right now. they're going to get involved in the war. And the jinn, who's that? Sunni Arabs. Let me make a little adjustment here. Assad. They're going to join the war. Try to force Israel. Okay? Remember? Within the next 12 months, all this is going to take place. Next 12 months. This will see, this be assumed. And even everybody, even on online, anticipates going to happen between now and October, which is that's all days. It's a few days away, right? And during the war, once that starts back up again, Farrakhan will be exposed and disposed, exposed and deposed. Yeah. He's gonna be thrown out. He's on the way out right now. Because they got insurrection over there right now. But he will be finished while the war is going on. Pretty soon, and I expect this will be happening within 60 days. Details, not watch the weather. Each of the days, the true Son of Man, more hair, dark skin, will take control of NOI. Each of the days, thrones cast down. Who's thrones? Them. All their authority figures or whatever, right? Whatever. Cast down. What's happened? No. He's disposed. He's gone. Now Joshua takes over. It says Exodus. Aaron cast out. Joshua takes over. That's the Ancient of Days. Then falls Israel is defeated. War's going on. Then falls Israel gets defeated by Iran, king of the north. And jinn flee to India. Who's the jinn? That's Assad. They flee. They're defeated. They flee to India. They get out of Arabia. Leave their people behind, but they get out. Right? Gog and Magog, American Britain, they cast out of the Middle East, cast out of the region. They cast out. Iran, Syria, throw them out. You say, oh, Syria, oh, well, you're going to be surprised what happened with Syria. Right? They're going to be thrown out. American Britain will be kicked out. That's okay. Then falls Israel, Antichrist, under siege. They've been under siege. And now they're suffering what they've inflicted on Gaza. I told you, I've been telling you, writing on obituary, because what they're doing to them, back then, what you've done, so should be done to you. Now they're under siege. And now the Palestinians got them under control. And they're doing to them as they was done to them. And they're going to starve them out. And it says the father being the sons, and the son being the fathers. It'll be disaster over there. And America seeing that, right? There's going to be a panic over here. That's one of the panics. There's going to be a lot of panics. One of them. Because they see what's happening over there. Men's hearts filled for fear when those things come upon the earth because the powers of heaven been shaken. They're going to see it and they're going to know that's coming to America. All remember, well, I think they said 30% of America, some of this rapture thing, they believe that when false Israel goes under siege, Jesus is going to come back and save them last minute. And see, that's not happening. They realize, that it wasn't real. The true seed of Abraham is right here. Men's hearts filled with fear because now they know hell awaits. Well, hell hasn't awaited. It was not awaiting anymore. It has arrived. That's when Gog and Magog attack the saints, attack all blacks. They know they're in trouble now because all this is going down. It means there is no people, right? True to Abraham, and they're under judgment. They're rising, and they're going to do it to them. It says, when they realize that, it's clear. Doing the Babylons, they done to you, the devil. And so they're going to attack all blacks, because they ain't taking any chances. Anything that's not white, they want to attack. Right? That's why it says flee. And then, because Iran has taken over the Middle East, and total economic collapse in Europe. They depend on the oil. They're not getting the oil from Russia anymore. They're getting it from the Middle East. Total economic collapse. That's chapter 18. It says, right? That total collapse overnight. Bam. Economic collapse. Right? And so Europe blames America for the problem. So the only source of oil is Russia. They make nice with Russia. They come allied Russia, turn against America. Like it says, all your what do they call them? All your lovers are turned against you. Everybody, see, I tell you, this time unprecedented trouble. This time of total consequence. I mean, consequences is so obvious because see how Trump has turned everybody against America. He's attacking everybody. Terrorists, I'm gonna get you. I'm putting ships down here. I'm gonna kick your ass. All this stuff, and now all of a sudden, the whole world turns back against him. The whole world's gonna be on him. I don't know. Since she picked up on that one, if they not say anything on the angel, because look what he's doing. Everything's gonna be reversed, and he's attacking the whole world. Trump is attacking the whole world. So now everything's gonna be reversed. It's like the same thing happened for Israel. What they're doing now is this time of consequence exact when everything is loose. All the dams are broken. See, everything was held up for 40 years. Now the dam is broken. Hell, consequences come every direction. It's not dammed up anymore. We was the ones that's damming it up. That's another story altogether. But now it's loose. And so now, the big bully America, now all the stuff they've been doing is come back at them. Sword within and sword without. So they allowed Russia, and now that's Armageddon. East. Two Armageddon East, Armageddon West. Right? So now America, because when they flee, they're going to flee to Europe. Europe say, man, we no economic collapse. And they have no source of oil, and they can't get it from America because America couldn't get feed to them fast enough anyway. Some brother said, or somebody said the other day that America does produce oil. America does produce oil. So you need to get that right. It does produce oil. It's hard. It produces that shell stuff, right? Whatever. But it does produce oil. But it doesn't, it does produce oil. I'll put it that way. Anyway, so they allied Russia. So now so when they run out of Europe, when the Middle East, they run to Europe. They got base all over Europe. But now they're based on the attack because now Europe is, remember, they already adverse with Russia. So that broke loose. And now Europe turns on America. And now they were Russia side. And now the war's full blown. Full blown. Because I told you, Armageddon's a full blown war. It's a European war, rather. So now America's bogged down over there. All is based on the attack. The Russian force over there trying to protect their bases because they got tens of thousands. I mean, they had what, tens of thousands of people in the Middle East. All of them didn't escape. They escaped under fire. When they kick them out, they don't say, hey, white flag, no. They don't escape under fire. A lot of them are not going to get out of there. The hatred over there for America is so great, intense. But they remember how they did Baghdad. When the soldiers were retreating, they still was killing them, shooting them in the back. They remember all this stuff. So now you got the Palestinians, they get revenge on false Israel and Iran and all other countries there, right? With Iran, Houthis and all them. I ain't talking about the Sunnis. You get revenge. And so the ones that managed to escape, I don't know, baby, 50% escape. How many you survive? They get to Europe and they run from the bear into the lion. When they run there, they safe haven, and Europe turns against them. Right? Okay, let's move on. That's what's about to happen. In the next 12 months, brothers and sisters. And that's Armageddon. And Armageddon West over here. Now, Okay, Armageddon East over there, Armageddon West over here, when everything's falling apart. America's system, America's economy is under fire. Disunity. I can go into more detail. Everything starts coming apart here. I'm getting west. It's direction. They've been talking about civil war anyway. Everybody started turning against everybody. Right? Well, Israel is destroyed during this time, under siege. They ain't gonna kill them right away. They're gonna put them under siege. Then they're gonna put drones up, show everybody what they're doing. They're gonna be eating each other because they're gonna allow any food in, no water, anything. They're gonna do the same thing they did to Gaza, and they're gonna be eating each other and everything else. And once everybody sees it, and they totally, then they find just to burn them up. That's the fate of false Israel. Next 12 months. Within the next 12 months. 12 months away. Days away. And the power of Arabia is broken by Iran. Iran takes over. I think all the Sunni states are broken. They take out all the authorities. Arabia is not under control of Arabs anymore. They're not controlled. Iran, the Shia control Arabia. Right? Well, the Houthis, I believe they're Sunnis. They get a pass because they work with Iran right now. I believe they're Sunni. I'm pretty sure they are. All Arab states, all other Arab states. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, let me take that back. Let me find another way. Because Iraq is Shia, but they're also Arabs. And they ally with Iran. So it's not that clear cut. But anyway, Arabia will not be under control of the Arabs. Put that away. Under control of Shia, Iran, and Syria. So America's in the chaos. Say Armageddon West. Insurrection, economic collapse, and chaos. Everybody's against each other, right? No food on the shelves because they're gonna raid the stores right away. And you don't even want to go there. You don't even want to go to Walmart, one of those places. They're gonna clear those shit out so fast, and you don't even want to be them while you're doing it. Because you walk out there with some groceries, they're gonna blow your head off and take it from you. In fact, you'd be fighting inside. It'll be chaos. If you ain't got some food already, I advise anybody that you pay any attention, right? I advise you, right? This ain't gonna help the devils. But for you brothers and sisters, if you got any sense at all, I will get at least a minimum of 1 to 2 weeks supply of food that you don't have to cook. And water, right? Raisins, things like you don't have to cook. That's good advice. It's a win-win situation because if one wrong and nothing happens, you can still eat it, still food. But you don't need to look around. Minimum, I would say 2 weeks, a minimum of 1. Feed the whole family. That's what's about to happen here. Okay. Race war. See all this diversity talk about? So-called Indians going to be against the Chinese. Chinese going to be against the... That might be so clear there, but there's a reason I explain in a minute, right? Hispanics, everybody's going to be... Because everybody's going to group up. They're groups. Because it's going to be terrible. People eating people. These folks can't go three days, can't go a day without 3 meals. 3 meals a day. All of a sudden, there's no meals. They'll be eating people within a heartbeat. It said it'd be so bad that a woman, a gentlewoman, we can show the verses. It said what she would do if she's pregnant, she's about to give birth. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. They said she's good in secret. Secret. She knows she's about to give birth. She get away from her. All the children said she'll be gray headed because they be eating their children. She got to run away from home. Because the child say, "Hey, Mom, we're having a salad. No, how come I see salads here in the pot?" Right? That way she'll be gray headed. They had to run away because they can't stay with their parents. Their parents will eat them. But said the woman, what she would do is she'll have her husband, right, and get to get a birth in secrets. I don't know. I guess she can. If it's painful, I guess they can hold it. So she can eat the baby when it's born. Raw, because they won't have no electricity and stuff. That's, good scripture say that. That's how bad it's going to be. Unprecedented. Right? So raise war in Babylon. Right? All this for the next 12 months. When this happens, it's going to happen fast. It says famine, right? Doesn't it say famine in Babylon? That's one of the plagues. That's when the original nation unites, comes a great army. They finally come together. Because when they see false sisters go down, that was a sign that was keeping them from uniting. Because they kept telling them, no, that's not you. You Ham. You're not true. That true Abraham is them. They're not you. You don't listen to Elijah. Listen to Farrakhan. You ain't going nowhere. You're going to stay here. You're wicked, you're evil. They set it up. The neutralized Elijah was saying that you trust Abraham. So once you realize that, then you come together as a exceedingly great army. And you need to come together as an army because you'll be under attack. This is what you're going to see. That place, right? Now there's two groups here. The original nation has two groups, the Levites and Shabazz. Shabazz, that's the elect, so they couldn't be deceived. They didn't get hung with Farrakhan. They didn't get hung with Aaron. It says at that time Michael shall rise, and all those lands, book of life, they're taken out. But the other ones remain. Some have everlasting life, some have the shame of the palmy. That means one everlasting life. That means they have to go to tribulation. Then they out here. That's what they did. Wash their robes with the blood of the Lamb. They had to come to that level. Okay, let's move on. And then when the war starts, because that's the separator. That time, let's say, Exodus says they separated the two groups, the chaff and the wheat. Right? So demons, that's the demons, that's the blacks that are really Caucasian and black skin from rape, from 400 years of rape. They're not us, not see the Abraham, they see the devils in black skin, wool sheep clothing. Right? They want to stay. That's Farrakhan. Remember, he wants to stay. They want to take America. America belongs to them, all that bullshit, right? But they're going to fight for America. Because we're going to be separated from them. And the elected gone, the Levites come together, and they preparing to get the hell out of here. The demons, they want to stay here and fight, try to take this country. That's the locust war talking about in Revelations. That story is Samson. Now let's move on. Then Africa unites. Because Africa is in the process of trying to unite now to come together. Unite into two groups. Islamic Africa and non-Islamic Africa. Non-Islamic Africa is going to be under the authority of Obama. Yeah, no, he's crazy now. See? He's the one riding that white horse. Anyway, that's Obama. The white horse in the field, not the other white horse, chapter 19. That's Master Muhammad. But he's going to have them divide them together, unite. Now, all the African continent, they say, you got all these people in India and all people in China. Africa used to be one nation. It's Europeans that divided up all these different countries. If Africa came united, it'd have more people in India and more people in India or China. Not together. See? They don't tell you that. They say, if you add them all up, there's more. Go check it out. So unite. Okay, move on. That's the one that under Obama, that's when they call it Bear and Daniel. And then China and India rise, right? That's the one they call the goat. They unite against Gog and Magog. They rise up because now remember, Gog and Magog, they bog down in Armageddon West, Armageddon East. So now they're fighting each other. Europeans fighting each other Chinese takes, okay, let's move on. They become the world, become superpowers. The Europeans tear themselves apart. At that time, the elect arrived. Remember, from it, Michael takes them out of here to Arabia, and now that's Joshua, right? And he's at war in and for Arabia, take Arabia back. That's the promised land. It tells you right in the covenant, in the covenant, the land between the Euphrates River and the river Egypt. So during this time, he's battling for taking that land back. Right? Okay. Next 12 months, brothers and sisters. And then China, India, right? They unite, now they move against Gog and Magog. That's what it says, the goat. And Daniel go against that ram, two-horned ram. It's also called a leopard. Small. And then non-Islam Africa and Obama, he joins up with them. Now, Obama, he's still here. But all the Africans here, that's here, remember all this diversity, all these Africans is here, it's on visa and everything else, they don't get behind him. They will unite him. Right? That's why he's going to be with China, India at the time, because they're going to be here with them, and they're going to be fighting. Not only are they going to be attacking, they will attack all Americans, even us. And if there's no African, they're going to be attacking here. Because everybody's going to be at war with each other. Okay? That's the four winds they talk about. Okay, let's move on. And then on the way here, they take out Britain. Just wipe it out fast. That's what caused so much panic in America, because now that's their that's family. And the way they got destroyed so terribly, where they just stick on destroy them so thoroughly, so terribly, and they know they're on the way here. So Britain will be taken out on the right away. Boom, instantly. God defeated in Europe now. America's finally defeated in Europe. There's Armageddon over there. Russia and Europe together, they defeat America over there. That's Armageddon east, right? God defeated in Europe by the goat, right? And force is broken. Excuse me. But Europe, as a result of that war, they defeat America, but they all broken up too, because the war. They was devastated by the war too. They were victorious, but it was like a pure victory. They was victorious, but man, they all broken up now. The weapons are gone, and armies are depleted, and everything else. And so, the goat, China, India, tell you surrender. We're going to attack you. So they surrender. So they're under control of the goat now, right? Okay, let's move on. And that war is going on now. That 5-month locust war. Demons are fighting for America. They fighting. There's cannibalism going on here and everything else. They're fighting. And they're going to be victorious. They're going to actually take America. Because America's divided. The devils are all divided against each other. There's no unity, no chaos, right? Trump tried to install martial law, but he couldn't do it because the soldiers wouldn't fight. They got scared to death. They was hiding, like people say, hiding in the alleyways, holding their groins like a woman in labor, whatever they say. Because they're going to turn and be cowards. Now they really got to fight. So even been bullies, beating on little boys, little kids, little nations. Now they're on attack and they're going to be afraid to fight. Right? They're going to try to institute martial law, and it's not going to work. Can't control. He's going to end up a horrible death. They're going to end a horrible death. The people right around him, because they're going to look around, they're going to blame him. This is you did all this, you caused all this. And they're going to. You think Gaddafi went out hard? Watch what they have to do to Trump. Right? Okay. So this lasts for about 5 months. This war will last about 5 months. It said 5 months, locust war. 5 months. That's within a year I've been telling you about, right? And they will be victorious. And at the end, they will have, that's the whole about Samson. He took down the 2 pillars, right? They're victorious. They won. They defeated. Because they organized army too. So there's 2 armies, both 17 million strong. Because the original nation the black piece of America is about 34 million. But that says 70, and that's why it says 17 million. 17 million original, 17 million demons. They mixed together, so they nullify each other's power. Once they separated, the chaff except for the wheat, they both become armies. But one has two different ideas. One wants to get the hell out of here, and one integrate, one separate, one to get the hell out of here, and one wants to stay here. I want to stay here, I love. And they're going to try to take America. They're going to be victorious in the end. After 5 months, they will be victorious. Oops. What do I do there? Okay, I lost my place here. Oh, here you go. We'll be victorious. And then that's when China and India prepare invasion on the West Coast. They arrive on the West, they prepare, right, to come attack America. They're preparing for an invasion, right? Right. That's where it said the goat came across the sea, feet not touching land from the west. Right? That means he coming eastward, coming west. That means that's the Pacific Ocean. At the same time, Levites, remember the left behind, that's the Nation of Islam, if you want to call it. Because Elijah was a Levite, the Nation of Islam, they're Levites, right? Who said in Exodus, right? They're the ones that came with Moses, right? You got the 5 month war, you got the locusts fighting, they trying to take America, and you got the Levites, they fighting. They're doing to them double they done to them. They're the ones doing it. So they do double them, and so they doing it but they fight on the way out. It's this damage they're doing on the way out, trying to get out of it. They're moving towards the West Coast. And they arrive at the West Coast. At the same time, the goat arrives. That's what we're talking about Exodus, where, right, they arrived at the West Coast, at the coast, called so-called Red Sea. The Red Sea is China in there. And it divided to let them through. There's no story together. I'm not going to it's in detail. They let them through. That's the agreement they made with Master Muhammad. We will not allow them to use their nuclear weapons on you. We can stop them. Right? When you get there, you let these Levites through. That's an agreement. And it's in chapter 17, that agreement, but I'm not going to, in what you call Revelation anyway. So, and they're giving passage. The Red Sea opens up, let them through. But then it closed in on Pharaoh's armies. Okay, let's move on. So Master Muhammad gives transportation to Arabia, and they join the battle with the elect, Shabazz, to take Arabia. Remember, the authority of Arabia is going, they fled to India, but the people are still there, and they don't want to give them. And that place is not going to be burned up like Pharaoh, or it ain't. But it says, you return home, the house you had not built. My father's house had many mansions. So all that's going, that infrastructure, everything's going to remain. It's not. They're going to the fight's going to be in the desert. That infrastructure will remain, and then all that's yours. It's belongs to us to begin with. That's the battle during this particular time. All this has been going on. It's going to be a heavy year once that war resumes. It's going to be. I guess this pause like give you a breath just before before the hell breaks loose. Because when that battle resumes, move on. Okay. Then India, right? And that's when they actually invade India, China, India with Africa, because they're gonna have Obama, the Africans is here. Then we have some. He's gonna be here. He's also the ones in here. They're gonna be under his control. The ones over in Africa already committed, right? Communicate. They have his authority. So some of them will be with the China, India too when they come here. Well, that's what referred to as the bear in Daniel. They invade. They raid the ram. Ram is American Britain. Gog and Magog, two-horned ram. America. And says the goat will be extreme. Remember they said extreme. China is getting it with America these days, cursing them out and everything else. They said that the goat will be extremely. He will become a surely. He's very angry when he comes after the ram. Very angry. Can't make this stuff up, brothers and sisters. At that time, that's when we're the victorious will finally take Arabia. During this time, within the next year. And that's when the goat comes in. Remember, the demons, right? The wheat, the chaff, they finally took control of America. But it's a trick victory. But now they got control of America. But now they got to defend America against the goat. So they get destroyed. They finally got control of America. That's what we want. America. America belongs to us. See, America belongs to us. Okay. Elijah told us going to be burned down, destroyed. So okay. So now you got it, and that's what you got. America's destroyed, and demons burned down. Demons they slaughtered. The next 12 months, brothers and sisters, you can watch the weather if you want to. Then Africa is split with the goat. Africa splits away from China, India. The Bible says, man, this is all mine. It's my heritage. He's Esau. He's our twin brother that betrayed us. Right? They see, he got mad because he said, Jacob, we stole his inheritance. He stole it. He sold it out, but that's his problem. But now he said, I'm going to take it all. But that's the battle right now is what? Jacob has control of Arabia. Esau has control of what you call Africa. All of his I say all of his Arabia. Anyway, it's one continent actually. There's no split, but they say it's a split because what you call Africa, Arabia is part of that. It's north part of it. They try to make a distinction. That's north still together. But anyway, there's division there because they say, because remember, China and India have control of the world. They have control of the world at that time. The West is taken down. They're the powers. The 10 horns they talk about in chapter 18. Right? And they had another beast that was with them. That's Africa, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Then he goes to war with China and India and defeats them. I told you, if you put Africa all together, it's more people actually than in China or in India. Anyway, they defeat them. And plus, they've been on a war stand for years. They defeat them. So the goat would defeat them. Goat would pluck up 3 horns, right? Understand that. Anyway, they defeat them. So now, Obama, he's leading that. They have control of the whole world, except for us in Arabia. They have control of the whole world, except for us in Arabia. They have control of all the Indian armies, China armies, European armies. Remember, they got Europe in defeat. They have control of all of it, except us. And that's so what happens. Uh-oh. They defeat them. Then they attack us. That's what it says. They see us in peace, without walls, and then he decides to attack us. Right? That's the Messiah and the Mahdi. That's the Christ and the Mahdi, whatever you call it. That's the Lamb and the God that talk about in Lord, King of Kings, and King, Lord of Lords. They attack. They have control of the Middle East. What you call the Middle East. We have control of Arabia. We're home in peace. And then they attack us. That's the last great war. Last great war. Then they're defeated. They're defeated. Then finally peace. Because they have control of the world again. The Lamb and the God has control of the whole planet again. Then, that's the detail of next, so you can check this out and see a year from now, you know what's right or wrong. I hope you're on the right side of it, because you want to find out I'm right. You're on the wrong side. If that's if you're original. If you're demon, it doesn't matter to us. We don't want you around, or you don't even show up. But you won't last around with us. Once we discovered you gone. We don't want demons. I don't care what you think, how you feel, whatever. You don't want them. But the original, the right side of this. Especially if you're a sister, because we got a special interest in protecting these sisters and get them home. That's it, brothers and sisters. You can play the rest. I have a few more things to play out. That's the detailed rundown of what you can expect to happen next year. Play by play. Let's not watch the weather. Prophet Farrakhan. We can't wipe his ass right now. God told him to be quiet. That's what he claims. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum. History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7. Rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, where they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was into it was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 40 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care, it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. As they're doing today. They took everything away from the slaves, everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease, smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black that this was God's will. God's will. The enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet, what's your rap sheet? How you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole his land and murdered his people. And you crushed the native people here. When the Braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate and slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so he couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your maidship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? Where's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. That's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our in subjection to their will. You and I, turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why is it that you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our in subjection to their will. You and I, turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and We're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and traded for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they have big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared him for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say, they looked at the farmers when they done the farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come no, right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they'll be praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic Covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. That's you. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the Master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. What comes about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and to drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was your reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep they thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See, and they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, he tells you, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, and ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all do over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Just all your dollars into gold. Right? Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million apiece. So everybody got $1 million apiece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say $1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one's worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So a dollar is worth an ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They try to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. Maybe $1. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you gotta control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me he had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got to go. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they're just using another different certificate, using another form of money. So you're still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's craps because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You saw at your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you could call your land now? Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. They met the Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, in places, just in that land, that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, he on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of them niggas. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them reparations. We sold them that used car. You turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See. They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they all thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. And they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border, and what you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, which was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. This is homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold it. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what it's some name to call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farad Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would we please come and get them? Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him, talk to him, let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, bro, sis, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, so you might get any more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Farad Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those rides that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. Now they begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send us some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send us some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no, he refused. I said, boy, I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.